Looking for magic cards? At flipsidegaming.com you can now use the promo code LVD to get a 10% discount on orders over $10 while supporting the channel at the same time. Hello and welcome to another episode of Wacky Wednesday, a weekly series where we explore wacky deck ideas in both standard and modern, and this week we're taking a look at a standard deck built around a rat colony, a 2-mana 2/1 rat from Dominaria that gets +1/+0 for each other rat we control, and the interesting part here is that a deck can have any number of cards named rat colony in it, which means that we're not limited to just 4 copies, and in fact this deck is playing 22 copies of a rat colony. So the game plan is pretty simple: try and get as many colonies in play as possible. They each bump each other, and then we just try to swarm the opponent and kill them in one big attack. So to try and complement this plan, we also have 4 copies of Metallic Mimic, a 2-mana 2/1 shapeshifter. As Metallic Mimic enters the battlefield, we have to choose a creature type, which in our case is going to be rat, and Metallic Mimic is the chosen type in addition to its other types, which means that it will still help increase the power on other rat colonies that are in play. And each other creature we control of the chosen type will enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, which means that future copies of Rat Colony will enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter, which is pretty valuable when the opponent might be trying to kill all our rats with 1 damage effects, like from cards like Goblin Chain Whirler for example. So that additional point of toughness from the Metallic Mimic can definitely be relevant. Next up we also have 2 copies of Key to the City, a 2-mana artifact that can help make one of our creatures unblockable for a turn. So we can tap the Key to the City, discard a card, and then up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. So that's very useful when the opponent has a whole bunch of blockers out and we don't want to risk trading away our rat colonies. Instead we can just sneak 1 rat in to deal unblockable damage. And then when the Key to the City becomes untapped, we can also pay 2 generic mana, and if we do, we get to draw a card. So it's not like we're losing card advantage as long as we pay 2 mana to draw that card back. And being able to discard cards and then draw is also useful when we draw multiple copies of Bontu's Monument, which is our next card, which is a legendary artifact, so we can only have 1 in play at the same time. A 3-mana artifact that makes our black creature spells cost 1 generic mana less to cast, and whenever we cast a creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and we gain 1 life. So the combo with Rat Colony is pretty obvious. We try and play the Bontu's Monuments as early as possible, and then our Rat Colonies only cost a single black mana instead of 1 on a black. And when we cast the Rat Colonies for just 1 black mana, the opponent also loses 1 life and we gain 1 life. So that's quickly going to kill the opponent as long as we have a few Rat Colonies left in hand. And next up we have 1 copy of Vanquisher's Banner, 5-mana artifact. As it enters the battlefield, again we have to choose a creature type, and creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1, and then whenever we cast a creature spell of the chosen type we get to draw a card, which turns all our rat colonies into cantripping rat colonies. And last but not least, we have 4 copies of Secret Salvage, a 5-mana sorcery which makes us exile target a non-land card from our graveyard. Then we get to search our library for any number of cards with the same name as the exiled card, reveal them and put them into our hand. So the combo here is to exile a copy of a rat colony from our graveyard, and then we get to search our library for any number of them. So we can search up maybe even more than 7 copies of rat colony, depending on how many lands we have available still. Maybe if we have a Bontu's Monument, we can play those rat colonies on the cheap in the same turn. Otherwise we can just draw 7 of them and play them on the following turns. So that's the powerful combo we have going on, and to also help us enable using the Secret Salvage in case our opponent isn't cooperating and putting any rat colonies in our graveyard, we can always use Key to the City as a discard outlet to put 1 rat colony in the graveyard, so we can use the Secret Salvage to find more of them. Then our mana base is pretty straightforward. We have 21 swamps and 2 copies of Cabal Stronghold, which we can pay 3 mana, tap the Stronghold to add black mana to our mana pool for each swamp we control. So as long as we have 4 or more swamps, the Cabal Stronghold starts generating extra mana, which is very useful in combination with Secret Salvage and having a whole bunch of rat colonies in hand. Then going over the sideboard, we have 4 copies of Duress to bring in against control decks, since we are pretty soft to sweeper effects. We also have 4 copies of Fatal Push to bring in against aggressive decks. We've got 2 copies of Arguel's Bloodfast, which is also very valuable against more controlling strategies, where we can draw a lot of extra cards with it, and then the life we gain from the Bontu's Monument can also help us draw more cards with the Bloodfast. We also have 1 copy of Walk the Plank to take out larger creatures, 2 copies of Dispossess against the God Pharaoh's Gift strategies, and finally 2 copies of Karn, Scion of Urza, as an additional card advantage engine to bring in against the more controlling strategies. So that's the deck. Now let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Alright, we're on the draw. This hand looks okay. We've got some rat colonies. We've got a Secret Salvage if we get up to 5 lands to refuel. Up against basic planes into Ether Hub. Not sure what that means. Alright, looks like some sort of vehicles deck. Veteran Motorist on turn 2. We'll just be playing out a rat colony, followed by more rat colonies. Opponent's not attacking, that's fine. We'll play a rat colony main phase and attack for 3. I'm fine if they want to trade here. They take it. And don't do anything with 3 mana. Heart of Karn can be a 5/5 if they crew it. So do have to be careful not to attack with our rat colony into potential removal spell plus a block with a 5/5 Heart of Karn. We do have 5 powered rat colonies here, but if they kill one of them and then crew the Heart of Karn, then that would not work out for us. I think we just hold back and then next turn maybe attack with everyone. They might fire off a removal spell end of turn, they don't, so maybe they don't have it. They didn't do anything on turn 3, so it's not out of the question that they just don't have removal. Chandra Torch of Defiance can kill a rat and maybe also crew the Heart of Karn. It is going to kill a rat colony. Bontu's Monument is interesting, but I think it's actually better to just play 2 rat colonies here rather than Monument and 1 colony, although it's close. Since we do have the Secret Salvage, which we want to deploy soon, but I think just double rat colony is good enough here. And then we'll attack our opponent with all the rats. They can crew with Chandra, but then they lose their Chandra to crew the Heart of Karn and block 2 of them, take 6. Or they can take 12 and trade for Motorist or Heart of Karn, that's fine. Opponent just goes for the single trade, takes 12 down to 5. Alright, let's see if they can put up multiple blockers or maybe play some removal spells here. And Gideon of the Trials, that's annoying since they can make an emblem so they can't lose. Looks like they're just plussing instead to prevent damage from one of the rats. Chandra deals 2 to us. And we drew the land, so let's attack with all the rats. And leave 1 back since that one's not dealing any damage. They can crew the Heart of Karn, but then they still take a lethal, so they'll need something else here too. Alright, Lightning Strike. I guess it works since now we're only dealing 4 if they crew the Heart of Karn. So they can survive. Alright, opponent's at 1. So we can Secret Salvage to get a bunch of rats. That's probably fine. And we'll just get 6 rats here. Keep the Bontu's Monument in hand. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's enough. And then next turn we can go Monument into a bunch of rats. And just playing a single rat after playing Monument is enough to kill them if they don't make the emblem with Gideon. They just plus Gideon instead. And that does it. Alright, on to sideboarding against red-white, maybe Mardu vehicles. So how do we want to sideboard? I think Fatal Push is going to be serviceable, killing a vehicle or something like a Motorist. Duress could be okay since we did see a bunch of Planeswalkers, but I think most of those Planeswalkers are going to be too slow. Opponent could be bringing in some number of sweeper effects. Mardu decks are known to sideboard into more controlling decks, and Duress can also take a vehicle. So it is a consideration, but we also don't want to be overboarding. Karn could be okay, but dies to a Heart of Karn pretty quickly. So Duress and Fatal Push are the considerations. I don't think we're going to go overboard on them. Monument is fine. I think we can cut one of them. And then maybe we just bring in 2 push to Duress. See how they perform. And then take out some rats. And now that we're on the draw, I think taking out 1 land is acceptable. So try something like this. And yeah, I mean, this hand is Not perfect. If one monument was an extra land, it would be a lot better. It's actually a close one, since Duress could be very good. We have only a single rat colony as a problem, so that's not very powerful, and we need 5 lands for Secret Salvage. And at just 2 lands, it's going to be difficult to get there. So yeah, the double monument, if this were a swamp I would keep. But as is, I think it's just a tiny bit too weak. Alright, this is better. And then hopefully draw into a land here with our scry. Metallic Mimic is tempting as well. But our opponent's gonna have kept more interaction this time around. So I would prefer to draw more lands for the Secret Salvage. And then we have the Sideboard Fatal Push. Let's see how that one performs. Turn to Heart of Karn, that's the one we want to Fatal Push. Let's play a Rat Colony. And then next turn we can go Rat Colony, keep a Fatal Push. Which is why all the 1 mana sideboard cards are so powerful in this deck, since it often works out well with your sequencing. Playing a 2-drop plus a 1-drop on turn 3, or just playing a 1-drop on turn 1. Looks like a Veteran Motorist, so they can attack us for 5 here. Alright, Bontu's Monument is not bad, but I think we gotta stick to our plan of Colony plus Fatal Push here. So they take 3. Scrap Heap Scrounger is fine. So they could crew the Heart of Karn with a Scrap Heap attack with the Motorist. Think we do trade, given the whole Secret Salvage situation. Alright, they're just attacking with Heart of Karn. Staying back with the Motorist. We'll kill it. Find another Rat Colony. So we can play a Colony or we can play Monument. If we play Colony, we can attack for 8. They probably trade, take 4. If we play Monument, attack with both. I think that works out a bit better. So I'll start by attacking, see how they want to block. Alright, since we actually don't mind trading here. Play the Monument, which they didn't see yet in game 1. And then 2 more lands lets us cast Secret Salvage. If we draw more Rat Colonies, that's fine as well. Another Heart of Karn. Alright, looks like they're not going to be able to crew the Heart of Karn. So we are free to attack. And Cabal Stronghold is not going to do much yet. But if we pick up a couple more swamps, it will let us power out even more rats with the Secret Salvage. So let's play Colony, trigger the Monuments, play another Colony, and attack for 4. And they might kill this one. Yep, alright. And then make sure to play our lands, say go. Heart of Karn gets in there. So a land would be a great draw for us here, since that lets us Secret Salvage and the turn after kind of go off. And Siege Gang Commander, wow, that's a good one here. And alright, we did find a land, so do still have a chance at least. So find 7 Rat Colonies. And say go. Not really wanting to attack into the goblins right now. So let's see if we're dead or if we get to untap and play some rats. Opponent crews Heart of Karn, just attacking for 4. So the Siege Gang Commander can deal 2 damage if they sacrifice a goblin, so if they have 1 more untapped rat source, we're dead. Another Scrap Heap, doesn't kill us. Alright, looks like we get to untap, and we drew a swamp. So now that we have 5 swamps, this starts generating mana. So that's 5 black mana for just 4 lands. Make that 6, 7, so we get to empty our entire hand here. Well, at least we got to do the thing we wanted. Don't know if this is going to be good enough, but at least it's impressive. Alright, that's 10 rats in play. Opponent does have a bunch of tokens they can block with. But yeah, we might as well force them to block. They can also block and then sack to maybe kill one of our untapped rats or deal damage to us directly. We're at 13 thanks to the Bontu's monuments, so we're not dead to just Heart of Karn. Everyone's getting in there. I don't mind trading while we can. Don't need all these rats. I guess we can take the damage from the scrap heap, take 7 down to 6. Let's say they have another siege gang commander. That's another 4 creatures. We want to make sure to have 5 attackers. So if we take 7, double lightning strike kills us. If we take 4, we only have 4 attackers left, so then siege gang commander would be an issue. Double lightning strike is a bit unlikely, I think, so I'll take the 7. So we're at 6. And it's Urza's Ruinous Blast instead, alright. A nice sweeper effect here. Heart of Karn stays in play, so as it turns out, maybe trading for scrap heap would have been better, although then the scrap heap would have been in the graveyard instead of getting exiled. Another Bontu's Monument is not gonna do it, so we'll have to pass a turn, hope they can't crew the Heart of Karn. But there's Captain Lannery's Storm. Well, Captain Lannery can't crew the Heart of Karn, but she can kill us in 2 turns. So time to draw something. Metallic Mimic technically keeps us alive. Name rats. Lannery gets in there. We will be trading just to not take 4 damage. And the follow-up is a Lyra Dawnbringer. Yep, that's gonna be game. Just to swamp the draw. Alright. Do we want to reconsider anything after seeing some of these cards after sideboard? Still don't think we want Karn. Fatal Push looked good. Duress didn't actually look all that amazing since their opponent had cards like Siege Gang Commander, which is not a non-creature spell that we can take. Walk the Plank is an answer to the Angel. I think I'll go with an extra Fatal Push here, and then bring back in the land now that we're on the play, and try it like this. And this hand is not amazing, but we do have the Vanquisher's Banner on 5, which if our opponent relies on cards like Siege Gang Commander is going to be pretty great. So I think I'll keep, and then hope to draw into more rat colonies essentially. Turn 1 Exemplar. Think I'm not going to use a Fatal Push quite yet. Play the Mimic. Reason being we want to kind of keep the Fatal Push to kill a potential Heart of Karn, since if our opponent relies on cards like Urza's Ruinous Blast, then being able to get rid of their legendary creatures is important. And there's Heart of Karn. Exemplar can attack for 3, we'll take it. So we can play a 2 toughness rat colony and then keep up Fatal Push. And I will be attacking with the Metallic Mimic, I think. Hope they don't have a 3-powered creature to crew the Heart of Karn. Gideon can also crew Heart of Karn. Prevents a rat colony from dealing damage. Let's see if they crew with Gideon or not. They do. So in response to the trigger, we want to kill Heart of Karn. So the Toolcraft's only a 1/1 and can't deal us any damage. Untap, find a rat colony. Alright. Play that. So we could attack with the Metallic Mimic here, but I think we wait 1 turn, since then we get to play the banner, which bumps all our rats, and so it can attack into the Exemplar. Gideon pluses on the rat, and Veteran Motorist. So as far as removal from the opponent that we've seen Lightning Strike and Harness Lightning, which makes it unlikely that they also have a Braid to kill the Vanquisher's banner. No attacks. And yep, it's time to play the banner. And name rat. think we do attack here. Opponent does indeed trade. Alright, looks like they're reversing the blocks. And alright, damage happens. I don't think that was bad for us. They could have an Urza's Ruinous Blast here to get rid of our 2 rats and save Gideon perhaps. Lyra Dawnbringer instead, yeah, that's an issue. But there's a Secret Salvage, so we could still attack with the rat colony. Opponent's gonna block with Lyra, and then we can Secret Salvage for a bunch of rats. Or we can just play an additional rat colony right now. So the problem with Secret Salvage is that we don't have a Bontu's Monument in play at this time. So if we don't draw a land next turn, we would only be able to play 2 rats. And I don't think we just want to throw away a rat colony in order to do it. So I'll just play the one in hand, draw a card with the banner, find another one, alright. If we just can go wide enough, and our opponent doesn't have the sweeper, we might be able to still get through this Lyra. Opponent might be in a position where they can't attack, since otherwise they die on the crackback, which gives us time to draw more cards with a banner and set up the Secret Salvage. Another Motorist. Let's see if Lyra attacks. She does. Interesting. Opponent back up to 23, we go to 12. And a Captain Lannery on defense, makes more sense now. Alright, another colony. Kind of have a similar decision to last turn, but at least now we're not throwing away our rat colony. The problem with attacking Gideon is if we just attack Gideon with all 3 rats, our opponent just lets it happen. And that's not great for us. And the plan here is to play a Secret Salvage second main after our opponent trades off with a few of our rats. Which is why I didn't play the rat colony main phase. Since if we don't draw the land, then that might be our only play. Alright, opponent drops to 10. Play Secret Salvage on the rat colony. And get 6 more rats. Well, a Bontu's Monument would be nice here, not gonna lie. Could have even considered drawing more rats, discard them to hand size to thin out the deck to make it more likely to draw Bontu's Monument. But then we also make it more likely to draw lands, which maybe is not a good thing. Our opponent, if they had a removal spell, could have actually killed us here, since they had 8 damage plus 4 from Gideon is 12. So if they just had a removal spell, we could have died here, which maybe meant we shouldn't have attacked last turn with everyone. Alright, Lyra stays on defense now, which buys us time. Alright, we drew some lands. I don't think we are in a spot where we can attack here, so we'll just have to say go. And try to leverage our card advantage from the Vanquisher's banner. And our opponent scoops it up. Awesome, so managed to get there with our Rat Colony deck against red-white vehicles. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the play. And yeah, I mean, lands and rat colonies, that's kind of what we're all about. 4 lands is maybe a bit on the high side, but I don't think we can mulligan this one. Turn 1 Firebrand is unfortunate, since that can just kill one of our rats. So against the red deck, we'll be looking to draw into our Bontu's Monument, and well, there it is. So we might be better off holding on to our rat colonies to get the extra drain effect, since the first rat colony we play is gonna die to the Firebrand anyways. Alright, Walking Ballista is also not great for us, since that can also just shoot down one of our rats. And now with the Walking Ballista in play, there's no chance for us to try and get a Metallic Mimic in play. There's Goblin Chain Whirler, so far all the cards our opponent played can deal 1 damage to our rats, which does not bode well for them. And the Goblin Chain Whirler having first strike is also going to make it difficult to attack into it. Alright, time to play some rats. And say go. So our best draw here would probably be a Secret Salvage, since we have the Monument and the Cabal Stronghold to help us power out multiple rats. Walking Ballista's attacking. I mean, we might as well block. It's not getting any better for us. And another one, alright. The opponent's cards have lined up pretty well against what we're trying to do here, so not much we can do besides play a Cabal Stronghold and hope to draw into a Secret Salvage. Firebrand takes out a rat. And there's another Goblin Chain Whirler. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. At least we managed to trade off for the Walking Ballista earlier and the Firebrand, so they probably just top decked the other Chain Whirler here. Yeah, third Monument is kind of our worst draw in the deck. So if you're trying to beat the Rat Colony deck, starting with Firebrand into Ballista into Chain Whirler is the place to be. So if all the mono red decks are going to look like this in the future, then you might want to avoid the Rat Colonies. Alright, that does it for game 1. So on to game 2, where we do get to bring in a few extra cards, like Fatal Push and Walk the Plank. And what do we take out? I think we can shave one Monument, and then just take out a handful of rats, and try it like this. On the draw we could maybe take out a land, but now we're on the play, so I prefer taking out an extra rat. And alright, this is a keep. If the Metallic Mimic survives, our rats will have an extra toughness, which is very relevant, as you could see from last game. Turn on Bomat Courier, alright, that's not a Firebrand at least. And there's Secret Salvage for the late game. So if this Mimic can survive for a turn, we might be in business. Let's name a rat and say go. And there's a Firebrand. Oh well. We tried. Another Courier. Metallic Mimic down. Let's play the Monuments. Still have a shot here. Next turn being able to play 3 Rat Colonies if we can on 5 refuel with Secret Salvage with a Monument in play. We could still come back if they don't have a Chain Whirler. Gate to the Afterlife. Alright, so their opponent was actually the mono-red Godfarrow's Gift deck instead of a pure mono-red aggro deck, which explains the Walking Ballista card choice as well as maybe the Firebrand, since not all mono-red decks play the Firebrand. Alright, another Monument is not great. Well, we're kind of all in here. Can't really afford to play around Chain Whirler at this point. There's Walking Ballista for 0 to trigger the Gate to the Afterlife. And discards a Godfarrow's Gift. Sacrifices Courier. So it looks like they're going off here. Discard Siege Gang Commander. So they already have 2 Combat Celebrants in their graveyard. So had we known their opponent was on the Godfarrow's Gift plan, we would have brought in our Dispossess. But from the looks of it, they look like just a normal mono-red aggro deck. Since we didn't see the Prospector, we didn't see the Celebrant, or any of the Godfarrow's Gift or Gate to the Afterlife cards. So our opponent can transform their Gate into a Godfarrow's Gift. But we do have 4 powered Rat Colonies on defense, so they're not gonna quite go off with the Combat Celebrants as they would like, since we can just trade for them. But we're still gonna be in trouble going forward, since they can get back something like a Siege Gang Commander. So we will block. They will get another Celebrant, which will be able to attack and require a double block on our part. But our opponent is out of Combat Celebrants at least. So I think we do double block, despite it not being great for us. But we have the Secret Salvage in hand, which we're relying on here. Opponent gets back Rowdy Crew, discards another Combat Celebrant, wow. Well, that's our opponent's deck operating at peak performance. And there's Metallic Mimic, it's not gonna do it here for us. Name Rat. Another Gate. And a land to go with it. Well, at least we got to see the Mono-Red gift deck have the nut draw here, so they can get back another Combat Celebrant and maybe a Goblin Chain Whirler just to wipe our board, and then exert, attack with everyone, and we're also just dead here, so they don't even need to take the extra combat step to get 2 more creatures back. Alright, GG's, on to the next one. Alright, we're on the play, and yeah, this hand looks okay. Double Metallic Mimic into Rat Colonies, and then at some point a Secret Salvage. So Swamp go. Let's find out what we're up against. A Dragon Skull Summit tapped. So let's go ahead and play out our Metallic Mimic, naming a rat. I'm not sure what the summit means. Could be a rat splashing black aggro deck. Could be a more controlling deck. Field of Ruin indicates a more controlling deck. Think we attack first with the Metallic Mimic. So there's a small chance that our opponent takes it to damage rather than killing the Metallic Mimic right away. Alright, they're just gonna braid it right away. If we just played our other Metallic Mimic, then they would have just killed the Metallic Mimic in response. Now there was a small chance that we were able to sneak into damage, and they wait and see which other creature we play before killing the Metallic Mimic. Another Field of Ruin. It's kind of unfortunate that we have to play the Stronghold if we don't draw a Swamp, since then we might help our opponent fix their own mana, since I'm sure the opponent would want us to have a non-basing in play so they can use the Field of Ruin. Arguel's Bloodfast is not gonna be all that great here. Alright, another rat colony, so time to play some rats. And get in for 2, hope they don't have a sweeper. And then next turn we could do some serious damage already. If we draw another swamp, if a rat colony dies, we can Secret Salvage. So don't mind our position here. Cathartic Reunion, discarding Scavenger Grounds and Costly Plunder, sure. So opponents might have some weird combo deck going on, and they scoop it up, alright. That was a quick win for the rats. How do we sideboard? Opponents with Cathartic Reunions, Costly Plunder. Not sure what to make of that. Karn could be okay if they're overloading on sweeper effects in red black. Certainly a possibility. I'll bring in 2 copies of Duress. Scavenger Grounds makes me maybe want to cut 1 Secret Salvage, since if they exile the graveyard, then we can't use a Secret Salvage. Arguel's Bloodfast could also be okay if our opponent brings in a bunch of removal. So Karn, Duress, and Bloodfast, take out a Salvage, take out a Monument, take out 3 rats, and a land on the draw. That's reasonable. I think we'll try it like this. Could also consider taking out Key to the City actually, since our opponent's not gonna have a ton of creatures that we need to get through. So maybe just bring back 2 rat colonies for that. Alright, this hand is certainly interesting. Don't have any rat colonies, which is strange. But we do have some good cards. Metallic Mimic into Monument. If we ever draw more rats, that's good. And then Monument plus Secret Salvage is also nice to have. And we get to see how Karn performs. Alright, there's a colony, so that's nice. Turn 2 we'll play the Mimic, which is also better since then we get to take advantage of the discount on the Monument when we play the rat colony. So turn 2 Mimic, turn 3 Monuments, turn 4 hopefully a bunch of rats. Opponent with Reunion, discarding Pyramids and a Mountain. Alright, still not entirely sure what's going on. Opponent probably has a small sub-theme with artifacts, is my guess, which explains the Pyramid, which is not an amazing card by itself. And they also had the Costly Plunder, which can sacrifice artifacts. So we're fine if they abrade the Metallic Mimic, since then the abrade's not killing the Monument. Alright, there's another Pyramid. They'll have to charge it up before they get to make extra mana with it. So time to attack for 2, make them use the abrade if they have it. And we'll play the Monument, even though playing Rat Colony would have been fine here as well. But this way, if we draw another Rat Colony, we can have a more explosive turn. Opponent makes white mana, not sure if they're going to use it. They're not. Alright. So Pyramid has 1 brick counter on it. Land number 4. And yep, there's a Braid, but hitting the Bontu's Monument instead of the Mimic. That's okay. Didn't have too many Rat Colonies in hand anyways. Would have been nice with the Secret Salvage, I'll admit, but I think now we're just going to play Karn instead of Rat Colony. Can start getting some card advantage. So let's plus, see what they give us. Hopefully it's just 2 copies of Rat Colony. Alright, it's a Swamp and a Rat Colony, so we'll get the Swamp, I'm guessing. So there's a Rat Colony exiled still. Pyramid with now 2 brick counters on it, so next turn they can start using it as a Gilded Lotus. And they just have a normal Gilded Lotus as well. Alright. So I think we start with a Duress, see what's up over there. And alright, this explains it. Jaya's Immolating Inferno is their big payoff, which we're gonna take here. And they have Hazred's Monument to enable the Immolating Inferno. So here we can just minus Karn, get back Rat Colony, or we can keep plussing Karn. But I kind of just like getting our Rat Colony and play 2 of them this turn. Kind of apply the pressure. Attack for 2. And next turn attack for at least 12. So opponent powers up their Pyramid. They have a ton of mana now, so something like an Immolating Inferno to go with the Monuments would be pretty scary. Could maybe also have a Torment of Hailfire in there. Alright, Hour of Devastation. Oof. Wow, that's super painful here since it actually kills our Karn with 5 loyalty on it. So had we plussed Karn, we would have been in such a better position. And the Hazred's Monuments, alright, fair enough. At least we have Secret Salvage to refuel here, so it's not a disaster. So we could play a Rat Colony this turn, and then next turn Secret Salvage, play a land, plus play another Rat Colony. I kind of like that more. I think I prefer playing Rat Colony here, so next turn we can go Secret Salvage, play a land, play a Rat Colony, attack for 3. As opposed to Secret Salvage and only be able to get 6 rats. Squeed the Immortal. Alright, they get to rummage with Hazred's Monument, but they're empty-handed, so that doesn't do much. So this is another legendary 2-turn on the Immolating Inferno. And another Secret Salvage, fair enough. That's Secret Salvage, exiling Rat Colony, and get a whole bunch more. So we can get 7 of them. Play a land, play a Rat Colony, and then we're left with 6 rats and a Secret Salvage. And I'm not going to attack with the Rat Colony here, since our opponent just gets to replay Squee, and that doesn't do much for us. Just want to go wide here and try to kill our opponent in one big attack. Could have also used Secret Salvage on Metallic Mimic if we wanted to, but against a 2-powered Squee, the 1 extra toughness is not going to matter too much, but wow, there's a good draw. Cabal Stronghold is going to make a whole bunch of mana for us. So now we'll have to see if it's worth attacking here. We would deal 8 damage to our opponent, that's probably worth it. Even though they do get to block with Squee. And then opponent needs to draw a Sweeper effect, otherwise they're dead. Opponent replays Squee, triggers Hazred's Monuments, and they discard another Squee, so that's pretty neat. They get to replay another Squee, get another trigger from Monuments, and the Squee that's in play will go away to the Legendary rule, so they get to replay that one as well. So they do get a lot of looks here at more cards, but they're also slowly running out of mana to do things with. So we're kind of seeing the opponent's deck operating how it wants to. getting to loot with the monuments, replaying squeeze, but they do need to find an answer right now. Discards a pyramid. They have 5 mana left, so Hour of Devastation would do it here. Did they get there? Yep, they got there, alright. Opponent gets to wipe the board once again. But as it turns out, we have another Secret Salvage. So let's make some more black mana. Get some more rats. 7 of them to be precise. I guess we could have gotten one more, since we still had 2 mana floating. Oh well. So play a bunch of rat colonies. Opponent gets to do their whole squee looting thing again to try and find another sweeper effect. So we should have had one more rat colony in hand here. Opponent sacrifices Squee to a costly plunder to draw 2 cards. Replay Squee. Opponent still has 7 mana left, plus maybe a land drop. So they get one more Squee. If they still need to play the Hour of Devastation. Alright, this is it. Do they find another Hour of Devastation? Or perhaps some other sweeper? Or are they dead? A Jaya Simulating Inferno, number 2, could also do it. Alright, well, let's find out here. 3 mana for Jaya Simulating Inferno, wiping our board. Alright, we did draw a Bontu's Monument, which is going to do it here, since we can just drain our opponent out without needing to attack. And we have just enough mana to do it. Alright, looks like the rat colony gets the job done. Sweet, I wanna thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay, and as always, have a nice day. I also want to thank all my patrons for supporting the channel, and you can do so yourself as well over at patreon.com/LegenVD, where you get cool rewards for supporting the channel, as well as getting us closer to our goals, where with every goal reached we will release an additional weekly series. So if you want to see more content, Patreon is the place to go.